Run the Loadex program. You will see a window open in which you should enter the password and confirm it by pressing OK. Choose Connection in Menu and then Display Configuration. You will see a window open in which you should choose a COM port via which communication with the panel will be held. Enable the COM port via which communication with the panel will be held. You will see a window pop up with information regarding the panel to which the connection was established. Enter the name to enable identification of the chosen alarm system. A file containing the data will be saved under this name on the hard drive. The program generated automatically random identification numbers to enable pairing of devices. It is possible to enter any other identification numbers. Should the identification numbers be correct, a window containing communication options will be displayed. Default settings are sufficient to enable proper data access from the panel. Move the cursor over the next button and click. The status bar illustrates reading the panel data. After having read the data, you can start programming. After having clicked on the icon Structure, a window called Structure opens. The system structure is shown in the System tab. There is one object by default. You can change its name to any other. It is possible to enter additional information regarding the object. You should create a partition to which system zones will be assigned. Objects like the default name of the partition can be changed to any other. Elementary parameters such like partition type or partition exit delay are to be defined for the partition. A zone is to be assigned to the partition. Physical zones, for example, available on the mainboard or expansion modules connected to the panel, only can be assigned to the partition. You can enter any name for all the zones to make its later identification easier. You should determine zone type according to its future function. You should determine detector as well as the way it is connected to with the zone. There are several options turned on for each zone by default. You can enter additional information for each zone in the Commands field. In the very example, an information concerning the detector connected with the zone will be entered. Analogically, you can add successive zones to the partition and program them, as well as you are able to create another partitions in the system. There are all the identified devices connected to the communication panel listed in the Hardware tab. Once you have chosen the device, you can start programming it. In the example, keypads programming will be explained. After having clicked on the Output Data icon, a window called Outputs opens. You can enter name, determine output function, its cutoff time, and program another options. After having clicked on the telephone messaging icon, a window called Telephone opens. To enable telephone messaging, you have to enable telephone messaging option. You can enter description, telephone number, and determine the messaging mode for each telephone. Further on, you should determine events about which information should be transmitted to specified telephone numbers. You can enter content of voice messages in the Voice Messages tab that will be played by the synthesizer. This information is only to remind about messages recorded by the synthesizer. After having programmed selected items of the systems, save the data to the panel. After having clicked on the Event Log icon, a window displaying events to have occurred in the system opens. There is a filter enabling choosing the events to be displayed. You can save date and time being set on your PC to the panel. It is advised to save the system settings to the flash memory of the panel. In order to add, edit or remove a user, you have to open Users window. You can set a username, determine type, enter code, determine partitions which the user will be able to access, and set the authority level. it is advised to save the system settings to the flash memory of the panel. After having finished the programming, you may exit DLoadX.